Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Morning, Morgan.
Morgan doing a body wine. Why are you doing a body wine before
Yes,
It's
gotta
Friday.
get early. It's Friday.
you got sexy
Happy
news to
Friday.
deliver or something?
Yes. Cheers to the freaking weekend. Let's get into it, though, y'all. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris held their first joint rally since the president ended his 2024 re-election bid. Speaking in Prince George's County, where I'm from the Prince George's County Community College in Maryland, the two leaders highlighted their efforts to cut Medicare prices for popular drugs. Let's hear more from Vice President Kamala Harris.
In the United States of America, no senior should have to choose between either filling their prescription or paying their rent. Big Pharma has often inflated the price of life-saving medications, often charging many times what it would cost to make just to increase their profits.
That's what people want to hear. As long as you are having conversations about things that keep money in folks' pockets or make things that they need more affordable, you will always get the ears of the people. People will always pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Now, Charlamagne, I know you might not want to hear from President Biden, but he also was there too. He is still our president, and he had some comments to say. He said this shouldn't be a concern, and added that he does have the utmost confidence in Harris to be the next president. So let's hear from Biden.
Kamala and I both get it. We know it isn't just about health care. It's about your dignity. No, it's about your dignity. It's about peace of mind. It's about security. It's about taking care of your family. Folks, I have an incredible partner. The progress we've made, she's going to make one hell of a president.
Well, that's nice of him to say.
Cool.
Yeah, so VP Harris is also expected to lay out economic policies during a campaign stop today in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'll tell you one thing, too. The VP may not be doing any interviews, but she sure got a mean ground game, and I hope when she goes to these places like Maryland, she's not just doing rallies. I hope she's going out to local establishments and shaking hands and kissing babies, because that goes a long way.
But it also seems to me that she talks about all the things that she wants to do when she's in office and the first thing she wants to do and what she wants to increase and how she wants to help. But it seems like to me she's talking about all the things that we expected Joe Biden to do that they didn't do.
Well, no, they did do. That's why what she was talking about just now was prices that they've actually negotiated. She didn't say they want to do it. She said they have negotiated it.
Yeah, speaking of which, the Biden administration says it actually has negotiated lower prices on 10 drugs commonly used by Americans on Medicare. Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra says it almost took a year of negotiations to arrive at the news. Let's hear more from HHS Secretary Becerra.
The savings are significant, more than what the Congressional Budget Office, the budget estimator for Congress, said it would be. We would love it to be September 1st, 2024, but you have to give time for the new pricing to take into to get inputted into the system all over the country.
I don't know about that part, but no,
It takes time to put in the system.
Yeah, it takes a little time.
Funny.
So it takes about a year and a half, 2 years. So the discount will take effect 2026 and will save enrollees an estimated $1.5 billion.
I feel like we ain't get. For some reason, I feel like I don't know.
Discount takes a year and a half.
Long.
We getting there.
But I mean, at least it'll be coming. But also too, you got to look at
crazy.
You got to think. You got to things like
That sounds crazy.
Look at things like the Inflation Reduction Act. You know what I'm saying? Nearly 4 million seniors on Medicare with diabetes started to see their insulin costs capped at $35. That happened since
Exactly.
earlier
And in
this
fact,
year.
like you said, insulin is included in that. Some of those other drugs, Januvia, Jardiance, Eliquis, and these are drugs that help with cancers and heart disease, all types of different ailments, diabetes, all types of different things. So it's I'm sure a lot of people could stand to benefit from that. Moving on, the family of Sonia Massey and their attorneys are pushing for legislation that would strengthen Illinois' SAFE-T Act. The legislation would create a national database for police officers that would include infractions like DUIs. The measure is designed to prevent the hiring of officers like former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson, who is charged in the July sixth fatal shooting death of Sonia Massey. Now, Grayson had 2 DUIs before becoming an officer. Massey's family members also applaud the retirement of Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell, calling it the first step towards real change. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. So in the next hour, we'll hear more comments from former President Donald Trump and his VP running mate, and there's an update in the Jordan Chiles medal debacle.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. It's a Friday. Let us know how you're feeling. Again, 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is filling in for Jess.
Yes, sir.
And let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. So former President Donald Trump says the Biden administration's economic policies have totally failed. He made the comments during a news conference from Bedminster, New Jersey. Trump said the worst is yet to come if Kamala Harris is elected president in November. Let's hear more from the former president, Trump.
We're a failing nation because of the way it's been run for the last 3.5 years. We're a failing nation. Kamala Harris is a radical California liberal who broke the economy, broke the border, and broke the world, frankly. She destroys everything she touches, and if she wins, your finances and your country will never recover. You're never going to recover. A radical left person wants to put price controls all over the place, which will end up driving up your prices, not down your prices.
Yeah. So Trump, of course, argued that Americans are spending significantly more under the Biden-Harris administration and accused the vice president of breaking the economy and the southern border.
I'm just happy everybody is talking about the economy. That is what folks want to hear about.
Who?
That's it. How are you going to put more money in people's pockets, and how are you going to keep people safe? You talking about those two issues. Whoever's talking about those two issues the most, whoever's got the best plans for those two issues, that's who's going to win the election come November.
No disrespect to car salespeople, but they sound like car salespeople. It sounds like this is what we talk about every 4 years, and a lot of people, we never see changes in it. Like,
yeah, but
it seems like the food prices continually get high. It seems like interest rates, prices continually get high, and it seems like the border never gets fixed. It seems like we talk about the same thing every 4 years.
Yeah, but guess what? People will say when Trump was in office, they felt like they had more money in their pocket. Why? Because they received stimulus checks.
Correct.
Why? Because they got PPP loans. But like I keep telling them over and over, it took a global pandemic
People
for
had
that
to
to
die.
happen.
Right.
People had to actually die for that to happen. But you cannot ever discount how people feel. People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. People remember that feeling of like they had more money in their pocket during that time.
Yeah. Speaking of feelings, a lot of people are not really feeling Tim Walz. Republicans, in fact, they're calling out Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, over his military record while campaigning in New Kensington, Pennsylvania yesterday. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance accused Walz of lying about his service in the Army National Guard. Now, after going after Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate over his military record, let's go ahead and hear from J.D. Vance. Run that audio from Vance.
Tim Walz said that he carried a weapon in war. He never went to war. Tim Walz said that he didn't know his unit was about to deploy to Iraq when even his own press release at the time said that he knew exactly that. Tim Walz claimed to be a command sergeant major, even had it printed on his challenge coins, and he knew he never achieved that rank. Kamala Harris, showing terrible judgment, has decided that her way out of this political problem is to claim that she and Tim Walz are the victims.
Yeah, so Vance accused Walz of inflating his credentials and claimed that he abandoned his unit ahead of deployment to Iraq. That was in 2005 when he left the Army National Guard and decided to run for Congress. Vance said he did that to avoid serving in a war zone. Now, Walz served in the Army National Guard for 24 years and again left service to run for Congress in May of 2005.
Can we stop letting J.D. Vance and others stray away from the message Tim Walz was delivering? No, Tim Walz said those weapons of war he may or may not have carried, right, should not be in the hands of civilians. Can we talk about that?
The policies.
Can we talk about that? That's where that whole statement and all of this came from. But for the past week and a half, we've gotten, distracted talking about what Tim Walz may or may not have done in the military. The moral of the story is, can we talk about what he was actually talking about, which is those weapons of war that he may or may not have carried should not be in the hands of civilians.
And there are some military members who feel like this is a case of stolen valor, so I won't get too much into that.
But hasn't Donald Trump disrespected our troops at one time? Said,
called them
all the time. So
suckers, losers, and suckers.
Yeah, right. So I ain't gonna say what's the difference, but he's done it 10 times worse.
Distracted from the message. Can we talk about the fact that weapons of war should not be in the hands of civilians?
I was gonna say earlier, I like how you keep bringing it back around.
I love listen. By the way, that's one of the things I love about Republicans. They will forget what you want to talk about.
That's right.
Forget your issue that you want to talk about. You gonna talk about what we gonna make you talk about what we want you to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to talk about U.S. gymnast Jordan Chiles. So she's speaking out, or not so much speaking out, but breaking her silence on social media per se. Now, U.S. gymnast Jordan Chiles says the decision to strip her of her bronze medal just feels unjust. She addressed the controversy in a statement posted on social media Thursday, saying, "I am confronted with one of the most challenging moments of my career." On Sunday, the International Olympic Committee announced it would reallocate the floor routine exercise bronze medal to the Romanian gymnast Ana Barbosu after a ruling by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Now, the CAS found an inquiry into Chiles' score made by the U.S., which was submitted after the 1-minute deadline. However, USA Gymnastics said it has video evidence that proved otherwise, but the CAS would not hear the appeal. Chiles ended the statement by saying she believes the people in control will do the right thing. Now, usually in this case, if it's a matter of score on the organization's part, that will just award both people with the medal. So I think that's the right thing to do, but we'll see what continues to transpire in regards to this. This is just a really sad situation for her because, imagine the wave of emotions where you go up and down anyways.
Yeah, I agree with Jordan Chiles. I don't understand how she got stripped because the judges messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then they got video proof that it was given before that minute mark, so it shouldn't be an issue at all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then it's in front of the world, too.
Yeah.
Everybody weighing in.
And so, yes, well, she said she was taking a break on social media for obvious reasons for this. Of course, this is something that she had to address. So,
by the way, that don't happen in no other sport. I mean, if there's plenty of times you go back and you look at a call in football or basketball or baseball, and the call was wrong, but the game over.
Well, they got a lot of the instant replay stuff now that they can go back and look at the camera and check out.
They don't change it after the game over. What are you talking about? I'm talking about when you're watching the game and there's a bad call, and then everybody see that the ref missed the call, and then once the game is over, the game is over.
Right.
Like, you don't go back and be like,
you don't take the win.
No.
I don't know. Reggie Bush comes to mind. Give him back his Heisman. But anyways.
All right. Well, thank you, Morgan.
Yeah, that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. You can follow me on socials at Morgan Media. And of course, make sure you're checking out the Black Information Network at Black Information Network for more news coverage and live updates from the Democratic National Convention. We're headed out there. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen, or visit BINnews.com. Happy Friday, y'all.
All right.
Friday.
Thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.